As Neil said, I'm Damon Marshall, Vice President of Business Development for Supersonic. We are an ad monetization platform for both web and mobile apps and games, obviously. We help publishers monetize the various ad units that they're placing within their games. And then on the other side, we do have a marketing platform for advertisers to also optimize their outbound campaigns. But today I'm going to talk a little bit more about the monetization side. I'm going to pick up where Kaya left off and talk a little bit more about the state of the advertising industry in general. And there was a question to Kaya about gaming apps versus branding advertising campaigns. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the state of the industry with regards to the entire advertising industry as a whole, so brands and installs combined. And then we're going to get into even more details and more examples of native-based advertising, similar to the way Kaya took you through in the last session. So first thing, why invest in an ad monetization strategy? In my few years of being in this business, I've had a lot of objections, particularly from game publishers, that ads are interruptive, or ads don't fit in the game, or you're only concentrating on IAP. Over the last year or two, last year we saw a lot of traction, a lot more interest from the game publishers. So now it's not so much, should I get into an ad-based monetization strategy, but more about how you deploy an ad-based monetization strategy. So with regards to why you should invest, I want to talk a little bit about the state of the industry as I spoke. I stole this slide from Mary Meeker's Internet Trends Report. She does it every year. I shared this slide. This is 2012, so it's a little bit dated, but it definitely proves a point here. If you see, this is a comparison between the amount particular consumers spend in each particular medium versus the advertising spend against that particular medium. So if you see here on the left-hand side, print, 6% of our time, and this is US only, 6% of our time is spent actually holding a physical newspaper or magazine, yet 23% of ad dollars in the US in 2012 was spent in print. As you go down the list, you can see radio and TV are pretty equitable, but when you take a look at both the internet and mobile, internet still has a little catching up to do, but take a look at mobile. 3% of advertising dollars in 2012 were spent through the mobile channel. Kleiner Perkins thinks this is about a 20 billion plus opportunity for publishers to capitalize on for those that start advertising through their mobile apps or tablet applications. So huge opportunity here for us all in this room to capitalize on this. I wanted to pull a little bit more current data. So I found these from eMarketer last night and I popped them in here. Again, if you can see on from the mobile category in 2012, $3 billion was spent in the mobile channel. By 2016, which is now only 2 years away, eMarketer is projecting $20 billion. So we're going from $3 billion to $20 billion over the course of, in this case, 4 years, but we're halfway there. Also, percentage of mobile as part of the total digital spend, as you can see, in 2012 it was 3%, but in 2016 it's 14%, so almost 5 times as much advertising dollars are going to be spent in the mobile channel over the next few years. And because this is a European conference, I pulled Europe, same metrics. So UK right now has an 8% mobile digital penetration, and that's going to balloon up to 27% again in the next couple years. And you can see through each territory in Europe, same thing. The money side also, Germany 225 million up to 1.3 billion by 2016. So the point is that we are in a moment in time in the advertising community or the advertising buying community where there's a lot of money being shifted from some of the older channels into these new channels. Obviously, after 2016, after 2017, we may see a plateau. So now is the time to get in and prepare yourself for this tsunami of money that's coming from the ad agencies and the brands. So the interesting thing is, and Kaya touched upon this too, traditional advertising isn't working right now. So the agencies are talking, they have money they want to spend, but they know that banner advertising isn't working. So they're looking for something more engaging to present to these users. I pulled some metrics of what isn't working. So click-through rates on the traditional banner are 0.1%. Bono has a better chance of becoming Pope than you clicking on a banner ad. The 460 by 60 banner at the top that we're all familiar with has a 0.04% click-through rate. 31% of ad impressions can't even be seen by users. They're served in places on the page that either a desktop or a mobile screen doesn't show. So that's pretty frustrating for an advertiser. Only 8% of internet users account for 85% of the clicks on the internet right now. Up to 50% of the clicks are accidental, the big thumb thing, fat thumb. And then finally, eCPMs, you said 50 cents, I gave it 75 cents, but they don't even pay well. So as a publisher, it doesn't even make sense for you guys to be doing banner ads or traditional means of advertising. But the funny thing is that given all these metrics, agencies are still spending 3 times as much on banner advertising as any other form of display advertising. Here's one more graphic for you. So if you see up there, banner ads is the top, the leading percentage of display banner ads or display ads that publishers are buying, or advertisers are buying right now. So it's a dilemma for these advertisers, these agencies. They have the money they want to spend in scale, but they want something new. So what's an advertiser to do? What do advertisers want? They want to be noticed. They want to be remembered. In some cases, they want to be acted upon. And so you could employ this guy to be your spokesperson to get some attention, but short of that, the advertisers need a better way to engage audience. We talk about engagement rates all the time. And again, as this panel or this track is discussing probably throughout the day, is that engagement-based ads or native ads in this case are much better for engagement-based for engagement rates to go up than the banner ads. And I think Kaya talked a lot about that. Does everyone know what native advertising is? Kaya did a good job of defining it, but who knows what native ad is? Not that many? So we'll keep educating you. I thought this was a cool definition. Native advertising is a form of paid media where the ad experience follows the natural form and function of the user experience in which it is placed. So I thought that was a pretty good definition. Kaya gave some pretty good examples. I'm going to give more traditional examples of native advertising. So you may not know the term refers to these types of ads, but these are native ads. So we've seen them a lot, sponsored links. This is a web page on how to clean anything. And of course, we have sponsored links that are in context. You know, I think it's house cleaning services that come up on the same page. Sponsored links on our search engines. I don't know why I put Bing on there. I've never used Bing in my life. But sponsored links on the right-hand side is another form of native advertising. So you're searching for a particular term. You come up with some organic listings, and then on the other side, you have some paid listings that are also in the form and function of what it is you're doing. Another perfect example is the the news feed or the in-feed advertising placement that Facebook's famous for. Twitter, same thing. Here's a Starbucks ad in the Twitter feed. These are all native advertising examples. And this, yes, I am still on Yahoo Mail. I'm a dinosaur. But when I search for LinkedIn, the first message in my inbox is a native ad from LinkedIn. So these are examples of native ads that we've all seen throughout our lives. So it's nothing new. But what's great is that games provide a very rich and native experience for both the advertiser and the user so that you guys can make some money. And these types of ads, the engagement rates of these types of ads skyrocket anything else with regards to any other traditional banner advertisement. So for those of you who think that your users don't want to engage in advertising or they don't like advertising, not necessarily true. When done correctly, we see engagement rates up in the 10 to 20% range. So users will interact with ads if they're done correctly. And because games is the most popular vertical with regards to the various types of apps, game users are very coveted by advertisers. So we, again, have a huge opportunity here to get some of these dollars flowing our way. And again, I'm not talking necessarily about just the CPI market, because I know there were some questions in the last panel about that. I'm talking about the Cokes and the Pepsis of the world. That's what these numbers represent. So there's the CPI market and the app install market. That's one section. But there's also the brand advertisers that are looking to get into the native advertising space and the mobile space. And that's where our opportunity lies. All right, so enough stats. Let's get into interstitial, or the types of ads. The first one I'm going to talk about is interstitial. Kaya touched on these. I'm just going to show you some new examples. Again, interstitial, in case you weren't here earlier, is either a static or video ad that is shown either at the beginning, middle, or end of a particular game, a natural break in the game, at first boot, etc. So here's an example from Chartboost. This is a Subway Surfers. I'm sure many of you have played. On the left-hand side, that's the first boot screen. So the game's loading on the left-hand side, and while you're waiting, an ad pops up, an interstitial on the right-hand side. But what you'll notice is the frame around the ad is native to Subway Surfers. So that fire that's coming out has the look and feel of Subway Surfers. Just this subtle change alone accounted for a 53% increase in eCPM. So it may not look like a big deal, but it really makes a difference to the user. Here's another ad for Clash of Clans, but as you can see on the outer edges are the characters of the actual game that's being played. I don't know what game that is on the outside. Does anyone know what game that is? Anyway, but you get the idea. And Chartboost has been very successful at deploying these types of ad units. They're obviously highly relevant because Chartboost specializes, and I think Uplift does this as well, of cross-promoting games within the gaming vertical. So that's important. But also these click-through rates are getting 10%, install rates of 4%, eCPMs in the 4 to 5 range, which is much healthier, 5-6 times what you'd get in traditional advertising. And again, best practices, showing an interstitial at first boot, after a game, a turn completion, a level completion. Some people would argue that leveraging a reward is the wrong thing to do because when people are excited, they want to continue in the game. Other people would argue that it's the best time to show an interstitial when users are on a high. So that's something that you, as a developer, have to test to see whether your users are more interested in interacting when they complete a level versus continuing on in the game. Here's another example from NativeX. On the left-hand side, you can see a very plain ad for the app. But then on the right-hand side, you can see this was, I think, Icy Tower. They put the character in there. The fonts are the same as the app. And NativeX reports a 142% increase between these two ads on eCPM, and then a click-through rate of 225%. So again, customizing ads like this. Here's some other ones. On the top there, Icy Tower is now the advertiser, and you can see some of the characters surrounding the ad. And then Battle Bears from Skyview, same thing on the bottom there. You've seen this one. This is Uplift, but for those of you that missed it, Uplift is doing some really creative stuff with regards to not only having the user opt in for a particular ad, but they wrap it up in a shiny little gift for the user and create some interactivity where you scratch off the present to get your free app. And many of you might be saying, well, the app's free anyway, I don't get it. That may be true, but the numbers don't lie. Because we wrapped it in a gift, it accounted for these huge click-through rates and conversion rates. So again, making the ad more interactive, more engaging is important. And there are companies like mine, like AppLift and many, and Chartboost, NativeX, we're all trying now to create platforms for you to easily, in a scalable fashion, deliver these types of ad units. So we're trying to minimize the production and do that heavy lifting for you, and just then have the ads placed through these native containers. This is an example from Chilingo. They have Pop the Bubble promos, I think they're called. They use these for cross-promotion right now, but there's no reason why you couldn't put a third-party ad in one of these bubbles. And again, huge click-through rates for something like this. So that's more the interstitial side. There's many of ad units I can talk about. I'm picking a few. The next one I want to talk about is rewards-based video. So rewards-based video meaning watch a 30-second Coke commercial, get some currency in the game, get an item in the game. So here is an example of Pearl's Peril from Wooga. As you can see, the traffic driver's on the left-hand side in the corner, and it uses the assets from the game. It looks like part of the game. But that traffic driver actually launches an ad. You want to try to make your traffic driver native to the game. So look and feel of the game, the assets of the game. In this case, they created some sort of surprise or some curiosity for the user by packaging this up as a free gift. Once the user clicks on that button, that free gift button, you're messaged with something that says watch a clip and get some currency in the game. User clicks on that, watches a 30-second Coke commercial, and then the user is then notified that they've won some currency and they can watch another video or opt out. Oops, sorry. 2 minutes? Oh, wow. That's quick. So I'm going to blow through this stuff pretty quick. Let me show you quickly what Cartown did for their mobile. This is an internet test, so I'm not positive it's going to work. Oh, here we go. Just have to get the cursor. Where is the cursor? There it is. So Cartown Streets created a game, created an area in their game, as soon as this loads, where ads live. So in their environment, they created a drive-in movie theater. Again, the user is messaged to watch an ad to earn some credits. At this point in time, they're showing an ad, might be a little loud, with a timer on the left-hand side so the user knows that they have 15 seconds left of the video before they're rewarded their money or their currency. So we'll listen to a little Run DMC for a second here. And then once the ad is complete, there we go. User can continue. And there's also an X out button, by the way, right here. But then there's some post-roll action from the advertiser. So that's an example of Cartown. I don't know how to get out of this now. Hold on. So I really only have a couple minutes left. So I can quickly run through this one as well. Let's see. This is from Small Worlds, but the avatar walks up to the TV, clicks on the ad, and one of the options is to watch a video. Pretty straightforward there. I'm not going to, since I'm rushed on time here, I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to show this, but a GAWI is a company that allows you to show or actually have a user play the app in the game. So it's an app within an app. The ad unit itself allows users to actually play the app in real time inside of your app. Huge conversion rates there, again, quite native. Hard offers, so offer walls is another native ad type that generates huge eCPMs. And since I don't have a ton of time, I'm going to jump over to the revenue potential here because I think this is on everybody's mind. So I have a little bit of a different, some different metrics than Kaya shared earlier. Interstitials we see at the $4 to $10 range from eCPM. Non-rewards video would be $5 to $20 eCPM. Rewarded video, we get a little bit higher at $10 to $30 eCPM. The offer walls are huge, especially if you allow installs, definitely on Android, and there are ways to get around offering installs on iOS. But the eCPMs for these types of offer walls are anywhere from $25 on the low end all the way up to actually $150 on the high end. So there are many publishers making money through offer wall. And then there's non-rewarded offer wall. This is where you just show a couple of apps that are in context to what it is the user's doing. These are we see $10 to $50 eCPM from these. And in general, if you employ a successful monetization strategy, ad monetization strategy, you should see anywhere from a 3 to 20 cent lift in ARPU overall. How am I doing? I'm done. Let me just say one more thing really quickly. So this is obviously a way to monetize non-paying users, but you can do some creative things like if you offer ads, you can then go for a premium upsell, right? If you don't want ads, pay to have an ad-free experience. If you never have an ad monetization strategy, you can't offer that. By using rewards-based monetization, you increase retention and engagement. A lot of users that are non-paying and use the advertising as a way to earn credits become paying users. And remember that this is an opt-in environment. Last thing is commit early to an ad-based strategy. If you haven't, you should be thinking. I always say if I can get one developer on your team to think about an ad-based monetization strategy while you're developing the game, you're going to be ahead of the game. You can't slap it in afterwards. Help solve the advertiser's dilemma. We've got a lot of money that wants to pour into this channel. So if you support an ad-based strategy early, you should monetize quite well. I feel like I'm under too much pressure here, so I'm going to wrap it up.
All right, let's spend a couple minutes to do questions. Just
Sure.
to make sure there aren't any questions out there. Are there any questions? Nothing.
Anything. All right.
Well, I mean, I'll ask.
Please.
So from a native perspective, you kind of said it's a help me, help you. There's money out there to be made. What is the main thing you would want a developer on your wish list to think about in order to help your business as well? So what should they be thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I said it at the beginning, I just said it at the end, but it's about it's buying into an ad-based strategy. So I got a lot of pushback over, 2 years ago, there was a lot of pushback from the gaming community specifically that ads were sort of taboo. Right now we need everybody's help in creating a scalable opportunity for these ad agencies to buy into, and that's what my company is now doing. We're creating a situation where we're creating a marketplace for advertisers and publishers to connect with each other in real time and maximize fill and payout.
Yeah, and I think it was important too, and it was said here and then in the last presentation that 25% of the revenue opportunity for a developer exists within the advertising space. So if, actually, that might even be more, but just saying if you're leaving money on the table as a developer, it's always great to obviously keep to your creative standards and want your best possible game experience, but thinking about opportunities with native ad units that don't interfere with the game experience offer a huge monetization opportunity overall.
So the reason advertisers are buying banners right now is because there's scale there. They don't work, but they at least get frequency and reach. So we're trying to do the same thing now with native ad units as opposed to banners. I think that's the next wave that all of these companies are embracing right now.
The question on the other side?
What incentives? Yeah, so that's something for you guys to determine yourself. What is the most valuable currency? What we do is we take an ad, a video ad, and let's say it pays 4 or 5 cents. We would automatically, in the background, convert that into your currency and offer that amount in currency. So that video ad that I presented earlier with the Wooga example, that was basically a microtransaction of 5 cents for Wooga. So anytime these users watch an ad for 30 seconds, it's as if you had a 5-cent microtransaction. And these videos are consumed at very high rates. And then I wanted to address, someone asked Kaya earlier, how much money can I make, or how much traffic do I need to make money? I think that 20 to 30,000 DAU is probably the baseline. And we have publishers that have 1 million DAU and don't do so well in ad-based monetization because their integration stinks. And then we have other publishers that are doing 150,000 DAU and making $15,000 to $20,000 a day employing some of these strategies. So there's a huge spectrum, huge opportunity here. The last thing I want to say is that Supersonic is sponsoring a pizza and beer party, a send-off party tonight, or this afternoon. I think it starts 4:30 downstairs in the Gold and Platinum room. So hope to see you guys there, and thank you very much.